Hello, my name is Blake Patterson, and welcome to Real Values. On this week's episode, I discuss Lynne Ramsay's Die My Love. Die My Love is the kind of art film where its extremities will likely provoke and distract viewers from looking beneath those aggressions. Some reactions from the Cannes Film Festival suggest this tone because they did not have enough time to fully process their thoughts before watching the next movie in their back-to-back schedule. For the average viewer, Die My Love will be remembered as the movie where Jennifer Lawrence acts like an animal for half of the film. To those who are willing to go along with Ramsay's maximalist and modernist approach, they will appreciate how carefully Ramsay creates images to illustrate a character's psychology through their feelings about their current lives and the people surrounding them. What grounds the psychological and occasionally sexually charged symbolism of Ramsay's vision is not only how she works with her talented ensemble, especially Lawrence as Grace, but constructs an emotional roller coaster through how she edits her shots through a compilation soundtrack that reflects Grace's mood and her interactions with others, including Robert Pattinson's Jackson. From the moment Die My Love begins, a film-conscious audience will likely think of aspects from Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby and one of Lawrence's previous films, Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Those characteristics persist in the influence of masterpieces like John Cassavetes' A Woman Under the Influence and arguably Michelangelo Antonioni's Red Desert, specifically Antonioni's psychological examination of Juliana's crisis and how it relates to escapism amid her isolation and frustrations. Although there are similarities, Die My Love is a work of art that is uniquely Ramsay as a filmmaker, and her interest in the psychology of her characters and how she imagines their personalities through abstract imagery. From the structure to every shot, the psychologically fragmented nature of Ramsay's study allows viewers to feel and understand the overwhelming exhilaration that occurs when Grace and Jackson are functional, particularly in the riveting introduction, where Ramsay's song Zero plays against the scene. These exciting scenes are bridged together with the more dysfunctional scenes in a way that prevents the film from being relentless. Ramsay's dark sense of humor also alleviates the tension when necessary. When a filmmaker can fluidly connect different genres of music without it seeming tacky, you know you are watching the beautifully considered work of a master. Even though the deliberately absurdist acts of Grace's behavior might seem pointless to some, Ramsay operates carefully in the evolution of each situation in Grace's journey, creating the mood of those scenes, while also developing meaning in how she shoots them. From droplets of Grace's breast milk mixing with the ink she utilizes for writing in one specific situation, Ramsay illustrates the complexity of Grace's current life through the juxtaposition of the creative self and her new role as a mother. The friction between the youthful energy of being alive and the traditional notion of settling into a comfortable life is what pushes the drama to the forefront of Ramsay's exploration. Some critics have called Die My Love a study of postpartum depression. However, this theme merely serves as a surface layer, as the subtext concerns the breakdown of Grace's relationship with Jackson throughout the progression of their marriage and the birth of their son Harry, who is named after Jackson's late father, played by Nick Nolte in a brief but superb performance. In most movies that focus on situations like this, the infant is a burden, but Ramsay conveys how Harry is a part of Grace and is the one person keeping her functional amid her frustrations with Jackson and others. In exploring Grace's frustrations, Ramsay incorporates an untamed horse, a dog, and a mysterious biker, Lakeith Stanfield's Carl. The untamed horse, which becomes a part of an eventual car wreck, parallels Grace's experience as she is full of energy but also suffering through the visibility and invisibility of their wounds in one scene when she is with the horse and Harry in the woods. The dog, which is Jackson's idea, becomes a nagging part of Grace's home life and serves as a metaphor for the sexual dysfunction between her and Jackson and his adultery when he is away. When Grace shoots the suffering dog, the outcome is her attempt to confront the disconnect in her marriage with Jackson and his behavior, a decision that lingers in her mind throughout. By having the handsome Stanfield play Carl, Grace's sexual yearning is palpable in how she desires him when Jackson does nothing for her. Their initial interaction begins with the cutting of his lip to illustrate the conflicted nature of her situation before eventually kissing him in a later scene at a field where it is implied that they had sex. When Grace learns about Carl's role as a husband and father in a parking lot at a store, the conflict adds another layer of tension to Grace's pursuit of feeling more than empty. Each enigmatic element is carried by the impact of Ramsay's direction and her cast. Much has been rightfully discussed about Lawrence's performance as Grace because she truly commits to every extreme part of her character without sacrificing Grace's humanity. Beneath every outrageous action, we feel and understand what Grace is enduring because Lawrence's performance is fully realized in how she navigates Grace's emotional range through every bitter remark and sexual yearning. Grace's anger and isolation are credible in every move Lawrence commits. Although Lawrence's performance is the centerpiece, Pattinson is also excellent in portraying Jackson's concern and detachment because you feel the history of the wild times he and Grace had before they settled into their Montana home, which Jackson's uncle previously owned until he shot himself. When Sissy Spacek enters the film as Pam, we are initially unsure how she will react to Grace until her empathy becomes a form of connection amid the despair of losing her husband, Harry. The scene of Pam sleepwalking outside with Harry's shotgun is creepy on one level, but devastating in what it conveys about her and her life as an older widow. Spacek provides her scenes with the emotionally complex weight we have expected and missed from her in recent years. Even in his brief moments, Nolte's performance as Harry is a reminder of the actor's ability to portray a character with compassion and rage. As Die My Love leads to the eventual wildfire, which is foreshadowed during the opening title card, Ramsay's adaptation of Ariana Harwick's novel explores the natural progression of the tragedy in Grace and Jackson's marriage. For all the attempts to recover, the broken pieces of what has happened would not have been enough to repair. When Grace looks at the cake made for her return from being institutionalized just before the end credits roll, we feel and recognize the depth of how Grace struggled to find a sense of home within herself as we reflect on every dreamlike and startling element of Ramsay's vision. Beneath its outrageous situations, Die My Love comes directly from a broken but sincere heart. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great night.